Hi, and welcome to In the Business Coach's Chair. Throughout this podcast, I'll be interviewing business owners, business leaders, and anybody involved in business at all, and taking them through a short business coaching session. We'll uncover what their deepest fears are, what their greatest desires are, and work out how to sort those out for them. So sit back in your own comfortable chair, relax, and learn about what's happening in the minds of business owners everywhere. Hello and welcome to In the Business Coach's Chair. Today I have the amazing Nancy Ho with me, who is sitting in Singapore. Hi, Nancy. How are you?
Yeah, very well. Thank you, Rebecca.
Oh, good, good. So it's 5:30 in the evening in Singapore. It's 9:30 in the morning here in Edinburgh, and I love technology.
Yes.
When it works and we're able to do this.
Right.
Nancy, can you tell the world what it is you do? Because it's a rather lovely thing.
I'm a life strategist,
Mm-hmm.
a transformative coach, and also executive coach, all put
Mm-hmm.
together.
Yeah, it is.
So, yeah, all put together. So what I do, really at the end of the day is all about transformation. Just like energy, energy cannot be created, energy cannot be destroyed, energy can only be transformed.
Mm-hmm.
So similar, like as a person, whatever stories we had, and we can't change that because it already happened, right? So what we can do is to transform that. Of course, I'm referring to those that are not as positive, so that it no longer get trapped in us. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have an NLP background?
I do not, I mean, I had done NLP, but I do not
Uh-huh.
focus on NLP, right? I
Uh-huh.
do hypnotherapy. I focus on
Yeah.
therapy rather than NLP
Yeah.
because therapy dive into the subconscious mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I also do this other called psyche, which also, yes, dive into the subconscious mind, whereby we are making not the, like I said, the shift or the transformation, not so much as the change. Why not the change? Because change was seems like, oh my God, I got to be someone else. I got to be completely different. There are many good parts about us, regardless, right? But there's the not so ideal state that we want to transform. Yeah, so I use a lot of hypnotherapy, I use psyche, and of course my coaching modality with the three principles called mind, consciousness, thoughts.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Wonderful. So we could talk for the whole podcast about the unconscious processes,
right.
because my grounding is in NLP, and it involves hypnosis. You're not allowed to say you're a hypnotherapist, but you do hypnosis. And it is all about working with the unconscious
Mhm.
processes. There are a lot of people out there who aren't aware that they even have unconscious processes. How do you take your clients who are stuck? So often they're stuck because they're not tapped into those unconscious processes. How do you take them from that stuckness to even having an awareness that they've got these superpowers?
Correct. I like the word awareness.
Hmm.
So I do muscle testing
Oh,
because it's coming from them without
okay.
them talking.
Okay.
So I don't do the talk therapy thing because one
Okay.
of the things like not that we do not want people to talk, but then sometimes when a lot of talking, we are actually reinforcing that, that story.
Yeah.
I have clients that come in and they have to, prepare like 3 pages of notes. And I
God.
said, I'm not reading it. And they go like, what? I've spent time, preparing. I said, no, that's not, I do not mean to be rude. I don't
Mm,
mean it that way, but let's not reinforce the negative, but
mhm.
rather, first, what do you want?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or rather, what is not working in your world,
Yeah.
right? It's not
Yeah.
about a story long time ago. You happened to happen, right? But what's not working? So
Yeah.
just before I come on to this podcast, I had somebody that the marriage is not working. So what's not working now, right? So, okay, fine. So at least I know what's not working. What do you want? Of course, the what do you want factor may not be expressed effectively for most people. I don't know where to begin. I want
Yeah,
this and I want that. I'm not sure. If they have the clarity, they probably don't need to come to see me, right? Or
exactly.
you know what I mean? So I said, perfectly fine. Just tell me what's not working.
Yeah,
Vaguely an idea, right? What do you want?
yeah.
Okay. So I'll do muscle testing
Wow.
so to establish the communication between their conscious and subconscious or
Mm.
unconscious. So you often like, oh, wow, I did that. You did that. So obviously they said, oh, partly because I follow instruction. I said, yes, you follow my instruction. But when I told you to be strong, when it comes to certain story, you went weak.
Yeah, yeah,
So it isn't about my instruction, right? If my instruction is strong, just like earlier, it's strong, right? So
yeah.
example, that say my name is, okay, example, say, my name is Nancy Ho, right? So it's like resist me, and then I'm strong. And then I said, okay, my name is John Smith.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you follow my instruction too, right? But then
yeah.
if that's not your name, your subconscious, unconscious is not accepting it. Even you resist me, is not accepting it. Of course, among other things that I would suggest. And so I tested and they noted that communication.
Mm.
So then we go on to work on other stuff, and then we use that muscle testing so that they have some kind of awareness to start with.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, I love that. You've reminded me donkeys years ago. I worked with a guy called Jonathan Clark and he did muscle testing. I had a recruitment company back then and they took the whole team away and
Yeah.
he taught them some NLP and he started with muscle testing. And you've just reminded me of that. It was really effective. Really,
Yeah.
really effective. Okay, cool. So your business, Nancy, how long have you been established?
26 years.
That's amazing. Wow.
That's a long time. Yeah,
It
that's a
is
long
a
time.
long time. How did you get started?
I always call it a natural progression.
Hmm. Okay.
No, it's not like, oh, something happened that I went to a therapist or hypnotherapist or a coach, and then, okay, I'm so convicted in my work. Of course I do, but it's not that. So why did I said that? For some reason, as a teenager, I just have that innate ability to lead.
Mm,
Of course, at that time, I don't even know what it's called to lead.
yeah.
So my group of friends, and that's okay, of course, as teenager, we want freedom, we want to play, we want to have fun. But somehow I have that innate thing. I say, it's great to have fun. But if we don't do well in school, in our, subjects, it's going to be a big problem. So
Mm.
somehow that's that in me. So I was in the middle. Okay, now let's do this. Okay, all right, that's done. Now we can go play, right? And also because I had a mom that is a very driven person.
Okay.
While she's driven, she's not someone that would serve everything on the platter for me. She makes me think for myself.
Right.
Yeah. So, for example, she would not tell me that you have to study. She's it's up to you,
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
choice, because it's called accountability.
Yes. Yes.
So with that
Yes.
combination that innately I lead and I had the, programming of accountability. So somewhat that becomes like a big thing for me. And I technically only work for an organization for 1 year.
Oh, really?
Yes, yes. After
Wow.
1 year, I mean, I was said I'm an old gal, okay? I'm coming in my early 60s.
Wow. Wow. You look
That's why I
amazing. No
thank
way.
you.
Early 60s. No.
Yes.
Okay.
That's why I'm in this
That's
business 27 years. Think about it. So
bloody
start
hell.
as a teenager, right? So anyhow,
Wow.
so I technically only work for 1 year.
Wow.
And again, it was some accountability that I said, no, nothing wrong working for an organization, but
No.
somehow because it's been programmed to me, I want, so-called my life in my own hands,
Yeah.
that I know
Yeah.
exactly what to do. All right. And then I like at that time, long, 40 odd years ago, right? Something like that. So I said, okay, nothing is better than working with people.
Mm.
Yeah. So then I started, of course, acquiring my qualifications, trainings, skill sets, and I just grow from there.
Okay,
And
nice.
I'm going to spend the rest of my life doing only one thing, to
What's
impact
that?
people. To impact people.
Wow.
That's it.
That's it. That's
Yeah,
it. That's your purpose. That's your
it's simple.
driver. Yeah, definitely. TriCrest trains brilliant people to be brilliant business coaches. Want to find out more and join our growing community of brilliant people doing brilliant work with brilliant businesses throughout the world? Go to tricrest.com, TRICRES.com. Thanks. And
Wow.
has the business always only been you, or do you have a team behind you?
All right. I call them my second tier,
Okay.
right? Because being very practical, all right, as I grow, some people can't possibly, they are younger, they cannot pay my fee. And I don't want to cut them off as like, oh, sorry, because of the money, I can't help you. I would go down badly on me. But then again, I can't say give them a lower rate when the rest are paying a certain rate. Just not ethically not right. So I trained a group of people under my wings. So I call them my second tier. So I said, I cannot handle your case personally, but I can supervise the case.
Ah, that's good.
Yeah. And these people are trained under me. So I do not take somebody from outside.
Yeah.
I don't know how to play. Not the question that they're good or not good. I don't know. So I want it from me, how we go about the same, on the same page. I'll put it this way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then they pay a lower rate, which is perfectly fine because that's the second tier. It's just like you go to a salon, right? You have the scene director, hairstylist,
Yeah, absolutely.
which is very fair in the business world.
It is. Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. It is. Oh, that's good. Where, if you had a magic wand, Nancy, what business problem would you solve right now?
Everybody first, nearly everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, nearly everybody wants to be somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at point A, I want to get to point B. I serve many C-suites. Even if that position is not just going for the position, but what's next. So if we do not have the next, it means we don't grow. Right? And there's no status quo because I said either we grow or we decline.
It's true.
Not possible to be the same old, right? No, just like even the stuff that I do looks like this, it looks like similar, right? In the helping people profession, but I step up, I level up. So this is first, again, is something that innately I believed. And because I believe that, right, I somewhat, in my own way, able to coach people to think or change their belief that way, to step up, to elevate, regardless of their age, regardless of their position. So one is like, from point A to point B. Two, I'm their confidant.
Yes.
They can come to me and not talk to me, but I'm like their soundboard, not talk to me, that there could be gaps, there could be blind spots, or some stuff that they don't even realize for themselves. So what I do is like I, paraphrase, I point out like, wait a minute. You just said that, and that means what? Like, often even with ourselves, right? Even as
it's true.
We go blah, 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 that we didn't catch ourselves enough. So I catch it for them. And then either we have to work a certain process in that certain aspects. We have to make a certain shift, or, even the narrative. We check on the narrative because words has energy.
Yeah. And what about your own business? What issues, if any, do you have in your own business?
Okay, if any at all, I call them the qualified leads.
Okay.
Okay? No, I don't want it to sound like putting label. but in the marketing terms and all
Yeah.
that. What do I mean by qualified? Okay, first, I really want to serve people with real pain.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I'm not a motivator, meaning like, oh, help me to motivate me for this. Go somewhere
No.
else. Go somewhere
Yeah.
else. That's not my forte.
Go,
Okay.
go and get a Tony Robbins YouTube video for that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to solve the real problem. So nothing thrills me, better than someone with real pain, and I'm able to help them with the transformation. So if any challenge at all, is the qualified leads in that sense.
Yeah. Because, how do you find people who are even aware that
Yes,
they're in that pain?
correct.
Because they've gone through probably most of their adult life putting up with it, putting up with it, putting up with it. And it's usually, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, Nancy, it's usually when they hit a crisis
Correct.
where, or something that they've been doing for years suddenly just doesn't work anymore.
Right.
And they're at a loss as to what to do. And I guess in the modern world, there are so many options you can turn to, aren't there? A lot of people will go and see their doctor and get pills, or they'll go to a traditional therapist and
Right.
spend years and years in therapy.
Talking about it.
Yeah. And
Talking
then
about it.
still not feel great.
Yeah.
Feel slightly better, but it won't solve the underlying cause. And then how do they find you? How do they end up on your doorstep?
Okay, Rebecca, I have a question for you.
Go
Before
for it.
which market do you think is bigger? A market where people are eagerly searching for it.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, I want to buy a lamp. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
a washing machine. That's
Yeah.
it. Okay, so I'm searching for a washing machine, the best technology washing machine, whatever. Would that market be bigger, or someone that do not even know they need a washing machine? Which do you think is a bigger market?
The one that needs the washing machine and knows they need the washing machine.
The one that don't know.
Oh, okay. Because they're not yet aware of it.
No, because the person that thinks they need a washing machine, sometimes, in fact, most times, they keep searching.
Oh,
They
okay.
keep searching.
Okay.
Remember, I said the best technology, the best, and
Mm.
unconsciously. So they find themselves not committing to something. And even they do something and they go, okay, maybe there's something else better. There's something else better. Psychology.
Ah.
Not because they don't want to change, not because they don't want to help. Whereas the pool of people, they're not even aware. But if something they hear,
Mm.
oh, they resonated with it.
Mm. I see what you mean. Okay. So it's your business model is catching people in a moment, and it could be any moment. It's really hard to define, actually, because it's very random. When something you put out there on socials or a message or when
Correct.
you meet
Correct.
somebody suddenly lands and they go, "Oh, I didn't know I needed you, but now I've met you, I need you."
Okay, I reframe it. It's more so, that's why I put myself in social media, say, example, in
Uh-huh.
LinkedIn. All right. I'm in LinkedIn, I'm in TikTok, I'm in Reels, I'm in Instagram. Okay. All right. These are messages. I'm in message contents. All right. This content
Mm-hmm.
is sort of message, there was this message in TikTok. I won't believe it. It's all about woman marrying down.
Oh, that's interesting. We must talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get the statistics. Okay. Woman marrying down. And I had, how many is that? Okay. 122.1K views.
No.
Yeah, 122.1K
Oh
views.
my
And the
God.
topic is about marrying down. Not, I'm not telling somebody off that they are marrying down, but it's more like the message is about, you're married down.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Perfectly fine. But if you're marrying down, you know what you sign up for, but you are expecting otherwise.
Yes. Yes.
That
Yeah.
he will progress, he will do better, or he'll make more, so on and so forth. Then it's called trouble.
Yeah.
If it happened and he can, great. But if you're expecting it, that's the start of a lot of tension.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
marrying somebody and expecting them to suddenly change. You can't, you have to marry somebody for who they are,
correct,
not who you want them to
correct,
become. Yeah.
correct, correct,
Yeah.
correct. You see, because a lot, okay, why I hesitated? Not going to sound too positive. A lot of people marry for a wrong reason.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they really do. I married for the wrong reasons with my first husband, and it was a disaster.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, I married because I didn't think anybody else would ask me to marry them.
So you had a limiting belief.
I did. I did. That
Yes.
was before I learned NLP.
Yes.
Yeah, now I don't have any of those. And
Good.
if one creeps in, I sort myself out.
Well,
Which reminds me, how do you keep your head clear and tuned?
I work on myself.
Uh-huh.
Just like I exercise
Mm-hmm.
5 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I look like that.
Yeah. I'm only managing 3 times a week, Nancy.
All
I
right.
feel ashamed.
And then 3 times a week is very good. Some people don't even do it. It's
I
already
know.
very, yeah. Okay. So just so like my physical exercises. All right. So similarly, that's the mental
Mm,
workout. Yeah.
mhm,
And also the outlook of life.
mm.
And very important, the belief.
Yeah.
What are our beliefs? Right?
Mm.
Because beliefs shape us.
Absolutely
Yeah.
100%.
Correct. So I'm always in check with my belief. And of course, it's very convenient for me. I use the word convenient for me to stay positive because I'm doing this work every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so I'm reinforcing it myself too, right? When I'm
Yeah.
going to say this stuff to 5 people, I'm saying to myself 5 times
Yeah.
a
It's
day.
so true.
Yeah. So the compounded effect. So that's why I said the only thing I want to do, for the rest of my life is to impact on people, because to impact on people, I impact on myself.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. So that becomes a very natural thing. It's not like, oh, I gotta set myself up and everything else. And of course, all right, the habits.
Yes.
I gotta be in check, that they are the good habits and not the bad habits. Not as if like, I have to be eating so clean, but don't do things obviously that's not good. For
Yeah.
example, sugar is not good, so why go there? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Right? It's
Yeah.
okay. Once in
Definitely.
a blue moon, have a piece of chocolate, fine. It's called once in a blue moon. But it's like, why go and stuff yourself with all the chocolates and all the sugar and all that, knowing that it's going to be so bad for the body?
Yeah. And we're going off track here, but it's too interesting to not talk about it. What I've observed, Nancy, and I don't know whether you agree or disagree, is that people who don't do the exercise, don't put good food inside of them, they have quite a low opinion of themselves. They don't think they're important enough to take care of, to look after. I don't know whether you've observed that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have people that come to me with eating disorder,
Hmm.
meaning they eat and they puke.
Yeah.
All right. That's so horrible.
Mm.
And it boils down to a low self-esteem.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, it does. I mean, as a teenager, I had bulimia for a while, and it was because I had zero self-esteem.
Mhm.
And it was actually a doctor, just our ordinary GP, just said she was a lovely woman, actually, one of the few female doctors back in the early 80s, mid 80s. There weren't that many of them then. And she said she looked at me and she went, it's not normal to be sick after meals. And that was enough, Nancy, for me to go, oh, all right
Mm,
then. Because in my teenage brain, I just thought this is normal for me.
yeah,
So
correct.
that was really interesting. Okay, so let's get back to your business. Are you going to grow it at all? What are you going to do with it?
Okay, I'm not going to grow as in terms of like, oh, I'm going to have another branch in this place, or that sort of growth. But I'm always stepping up. I'm always growing. To serve the different market, to serve the different people. All right, to extend outside of Singapore, which I already do, but I want to do it in more ways. Because things like that, I want to impact on people. I mean, people as anywhere as people. So my growth will be that way, and my work get deeper. I do deep work. All right, I don't do the shallow thing, and really, it's life changing.
Yeah, it is. What would be a typical intervention? How long would somebody be with you as their coach?
I laugh. Years, not
Okay.
years because they cannot solve their problem. Years because they grow.
Ah, okay.
Yes. All right. So
Okay.
example, I have my tribe, which I'm going to have them tonight at 7 p.m.
Okay.
So I've got this program called the Effortless Success Program. And I have all this. I'm so proud of myself. Not
Good.
no, the excitement I have about this, right?
Good.
I actually came up with this program that even my coaches are proud of me. First is evergreen. As like most programs, there's a start date, there's an end date, and especially that start date becomes really difficult, right? Somebody can make it, somebody cannot make it, right? So this evergreen. And why is that evergreen? Because there are two components to it. The first components are all the modules are recorded and put online. It's on this private page. So regardless where they are, they start, all right? So, okay, module 1, all right? So 1.0, 1.1, 1.2, so on and so forth. Then module 2, module 3, module 4. So there are 4 modules. So they can then learn it at their own pace, or rather, watch the video, and they engage by their comments. And then, of course, I will engage too, all right? And if need, they can reach out to me personally.
Great.
Okay,
Great.
so then it's their own pace and own time. And also if they want to go deeper, they can do that with me. That's a part 1. So they can come in regardless. Part 2 is independent when they join, where we have this live group coaching that happens 2 times a month. Usually a first and a third Wednesday, which is happening like this evening, okay, at 7 p.m. So they come together either in person, and some can't make it in person, over Zoom, just as good. Okay. And I would have a topic. As I said, the topic is independent of the modules, but it's an add-on to it. So depending on the trend, depending on what's happening in the world, I'll pull out a relevant topic. Not just to talk about, but it's really for them to learn, all right, to implement what we talk about. Tonight is a continuation from the first Wednesday, where strangely I said, very few people. Okay, I have to pause again. A lot of times how I come up with a topic is from my observation. That's why I said trend. Like what kind of trouble people are getting into. What are they not getting? What is the gap? It's not putting people down, but what's the gap? What are they not seeing? Because by default, I'm an observer. Because I grew up very much by myself. Not that I do not have shelter and parent, but because I'm the youngest. So it's just like by default, somebody's there to look after me, but otherwise just do your own thing. All right. So that's why I've always observed this and observed that by default. So I observed 2 weeks ago, no, probably I say 1 month ago. Why people get into trouble? We are adults, right? Children get into trouble, we get it. Teenagers get in trouble, we get it. But as an adult, why adults get into trouble, right? Then suddenly I went like, I got it. Because they don't know how to think. Now, sounds like degrading, right? I don't mean it that way. Why do I degrade people?
No.
But seriously, they don't know how to think correctly.
Yeah.
Thinking is distorted. Right? Just like I said, people marry for a wrong reason.
Yeah.
They didn't purposely marry for a wrong reason.
No, they did not. No, they did not.
Correct. Their thinking was distorted. Only after the fact, after the marriage, then they realize, oh God, I married for the wrong reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the topic. All right. So I would have things. So I do not just say, oh, you have the wrong way of thinking. No, of course I go in. My work is deep because it's scientific.
Mm.
I don't go to every fairy. I don't go, okay, let's sit there and
No.
No, I don't. All right. I will go into even the autonomic nervous system with the sympathetic nervous system and what changes. And then we have the random thoughts. Random thoughts are those that just pop into your head that makes no sense.
Mm.
And then we have the deliberate thinking. And then what's the deliberate thinking, right? So on and so forth. So very systematic and all that. So I did that and different levels of thinking. So there are five. There are five
Okay.
levels of thinking and blah, blah, blah kind of thing. Then come the second Wednesday, okay, which is third Wednesday of the month, we go into exercises. So that will be on Zoom. So it's easier, because if it's in live, so everybody in Zoom. So I will create exercises so that can implement in their life.
Okay.
Yeah. So every month will be a different topic.
I love that. One of the best illustrations of people not thinking is we were at the theatre last week to see the pantomime, a great British tradition. And people started joining the end of a queue. There were 4 other doors into the theatre that were all in use, not closed off, but people joined the end of this queue. I'm like, what are you doing?
All right.
There are 4 other doors there. Why are you just being like a sheep and joining the end of a queue instead of using your brain to go, oh, there are 4 other doors that I could go through here?
Mm-hmm.
What is it that stops people from thinking?
Conditioning.
Conditioning. Okay. Okay. What, through the education system, parenting?
Yeah, all of that, right? It
Okay.
could be the parenting, it could be the education system, it could be even the media, it could be whatever, the government.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
We'll tell
that.
you how to think. Oh, okay then.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
so we're conditioned. So
yeah,
you join the queue. Okay, join the queue.
yeah, yeah.
Right? Without even having the awareness to look around, is there another way, right?
Yeah,
It's definitely there's more than one road to go to Rome.
yeah, yeah.
So why is it that people are taking the same road and even it's like jam-packed, jam,
Yeah, I know. It was crazy.
packed, and they still do that. It's the conditioning.
Yeah. It was a queue of primary school kids. It was a primary school kid trip to and they were lined up because they were all part of the same school.
Yeah,
Like,
correct.
and all the families were joining. I was like, what are you doing? Anyway, right, conditioning. I think that's really important. So again, a lot of your work will be about unpacking that conditioning and questioning it.
All right.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. And I can see how you've related this back to your upbringing of being accountable and responsible. Right. Yeah. Okay. I completely get that. Whereas some people at home, and it's given through love, are told to just follow instructions.
That's right.
And to do as their parents say or as their teachers say. So here's the thing. Do you have children, Nancy?
No, I do not.
Okay, right. Well, I have 3. Here's a story for you. So I brought them all 3 of them up to be really independent, autonomous thinkers from day one. The only downside to that is that they then question me.
Okay.
So when they were growing up, the oldest one, when she was about 6, she started questioning me. But Mom, you said this, and what about this, and blah blah blah. And I suddenly realized it's like, oh, I have brought you up to question authority, and now you're questioning me. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna have to deal with this. This is my fault.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People do not know anymore how to question.
No, they don't. No,
they don't.
No,
they don't. They don't have the habit,
yeah.
and it becomes like they don't have the ability anymore. So
No.
like sometimes even a client, a C-suite, okay, mind you, or a business owner, and said to me something, and I said, did you ask?
Yeah. Did you ask?
You ask? He says, oh. I said, why?
Yeah.
Okay. Last night, it was interesting. I mean, I'm an old gal, but then this is a trend. This is a trend. You know, they call the KOL, the influencer, the KOL, key opinion leader.
Okay.
Yeah. So they do a lot of live streaming.
Okay.
Okay. Especially younger generation where they would, you know, the influencer, they could sell this and that, and they have their tribe and people buy and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So she's my client and she's good looking and she's young. She's early 30s and married with kid, look successful in every way. She also have her own business, not only just a
Mm-hmm.
life thing, blah, blah, blah. So she said, I want to benefit my people. So Nancy,
Mm-hmm.
I want to share. It was very good of her to allow herself to be vulnerable and share a story. And then
Okay.
of course, right, then they you know, like that, and they would come and see me. So I actually share this. I said, every one of us wake up in the morning and say that we want to be the best version of ourselves. Nobody wakes up in the morning and said, oh, I want to be at the lowest rank
No.
in the food chain.
No, they don't.
Nobody. But why is it so few people are able to step up to it,
Mm.
regardless of age, status, intelligence? Very few. Of course, they do the norm. The norm is as best they can do. But, you know, the best version, right? I said, due to two reasons: fear and
Yeah.
stress. And stress. Now, the stress, I'm not referring to like the deadline kind of stress. All right. A deadline coming up. I'm stressed. I have to complete
Mm.
this. I'm not even talking about a workload. Okay, I have so much work. You know, I'm not talking that kind of stresses. I'm talking about negative emotions.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And some of them are even pre-programmed before we make sense of the world.
Mm.
That means before the age 7,
Mm-hmm.
generally speaking, right? Before age 7, we don't quite make sense of the world. Right? We're instinctual.
Yeah.
Right? We just take it in, instinctual.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by pre-program. Then after that, of course, program. So these negative emotions compounded. So that stop us, call them blocks,
Mm.
call them obstacles from even attempting anything.
Yeah, it's true.
And
It's
it's
true.
very unconscious
Yeah.
because we are intelligent, which is a good thing and a bad thing. Because the bad thing is we try to now come up with excuses for it.
Mm. Yeah, we try and rationalize it, don't we?
Yes, we call it
Yeah.
reasons,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, excuses, right? But you know, why I can't, why I don't, blah, blah, blah. And they convince themselves. Then fear.
Yeah.
Okay. Fear stands for false expectations appears real.
Ah. Mhm.
So we all have expectation. Okay. I mean, those expectation that we can grow and be better and be good, fantastic. But those kind of expectation that example, like expectation about someone else, that's not going to sit very well because we have no control,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Or like I said, false expectation, right? Like, oh, if I do this, what if? Right? Let's talk like let's say give an example, fear of public speaking.
Yeah.
We can't possibly talk about a topic we don't know. Nobody's going to go and talk about a topic. I don't know. I'm not going to stand and talk about
No,
a topic about
I know.
in a rocket, right? We always talk
Yeah.
about topic we know. So why the fear? Right? It's not about the subject per se.
No.
So often they got to do with like, oh, what if?
Yeah. It's the what if game, isn't it?
Right. And
Yeah.
the what if gives us anxiety.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, the anxiety would not allow us to go further or do whatever we want to do.
And they play the what if game. I stop my clients because I'll say the what if and the yeah but game are the same game, and I'll say to them, if I see them doing that, I'll say, I'm not playing the yeah but game. We can do
Yeah,
this all day long,
correct.
and you have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
You either stop saying that and make progress, or continue to say that and stay stuck. The choice is yours.
Correct. Exactly. Exactly.
I can't make you do anything. You must. You're the one that's getting in your own way. Nobody else.
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
and here are the options for you, and here are the keys to unlock that potential that's there, or transform or whatever. And it's up to you to pick them up and use them.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and
But it's very challenging for them to do it by themselves, though. You
it
agree
is,
with that? Oh, yeah.
yeah, which is why the coaching really helps. And there are some people, I don't know whether you've found this over the years, that kind of like being stuck.
Well, there are people that way,
Hmm.
but I don't think it's really a conscious thing. It's a very
No,
unconscious thing.
I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah.
So if you know, we can unpack for them or make them realize, just like I said, the people not searching for it, not
Mm,
searching for the service, so called, not searching
yeah.
for coaching, not searching for therapy. All right. But then when they hear something, oh, mine, I do have this problem.
Hmm.
I do. And I'm just sweeping it under the carpet.
Yeah. Or get a what we call secondary gain
Oh,
from
yes.
the
Oh, yeah.
drama or the attention that or
Absolutely.
sympathy that they
Yeah.
get by maintaining their
Correct.
stuckness. And
Correct.
some
Correct.
people prefer that than moving on. Yeah.
Well, they prefer that because they can't see better.
Yeah, it's true.
You don't know better. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
it's true.
for example, somebody is sick and they get well, then after they get sick again, it's like, who wants to get sick again? Right? Because
Hmm.
the secondary gain is that they get attention when they're
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
Right? So they do not even know the unconscious part that the attention is what they feel good. They want
Yeah.
it. So they unconsciously make themselves sick.
It's true. Listen,
Yeah.
Nancy, I could talk to you all day. We have not done anything during this podcast that I thought we were going to do, which is a good thing. That's fine because it's been too interesting to talk about your work. We've not covered your business at all. We've hardly touched on it. All I would say, though, is that if people want to get unstuck, they need to come and find you. How do they find you, Nancy?
Well, you can go to my website. It's easy, nancyho.net.
Great.
Easy to remember, nancyho.net. Or you can find me in LinkedIn.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Just look for a Nancy Ho coach, I'll show up, or Nancy Ho coach Singapore. Definitely I'll
Great.
show up. Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing.
I'm happy to have conversation with anyone. To start with, just to add that, when remember I said that people may not even realize they need that.
Yeah.
But when they realize, all I ask for is let's have a conversation.
Yeah. That's where it starts. That's where
Exactly.
it
With
starts.
that conversation, if it makes sense, then we go further. If not, I'm happy having conversation with anyone that you think you want to live your life to the fullest.
Yeah. And who doesn't want that?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. It's been a delight and a pleasure to talk to you, Nancy. Enjoy your evergreen group this evening.
Yes. Thank you.
Enjoy the festivities, Christmas and New Year. Have fun. Yeah, I urge people to get in touch with you. Wonderful.
Yeah,
Take
thank
care.
you. Yeah, have a blessed life too.
Thank you for joining me in the Business Coach's Chair. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. If you want to join TriCrest as a business coach, we're looking for brilliant people because we train brilliant people to be brilliant business coaches. Go to our website, tricrest.com, tricres.com, to learn more. Or if you want to join me in the Business Coach's Chair, contact me at hello@tricrest.com. Either way, I'll see you soon.